What is your top 1 sports anime? This is Offside, a legendary soccer anime that has influenced many pro stars. This is Haikyuu, a volleyball anime popular among young people in recent years. And what is this? Slam Dunk, a basketball anime that has changed generations in East Asia. Why has a 20-year-old anime resurfaced in the memories of audiences today? The answer lies in this anime movie, the first Slam Dunk. The new theatrical edition brings back the beloved characters and electrifying basketball games that fans have cherished for years. Continuing from the Slam Dunk anime of 20 years ago, the sequel has arrived in the form of a movie that audiences have been eagerly anticipating, Shohoku vs. Sannoh. The story picks up where the original series left off, continuing the journey of Sakuragi and his teammates as they strive to become the best in Japan. In this new theatrical edition, our favorite underdog basketball team from Shohoku High School is about to face off against the king of Japanese high school basketball. What sets this film apart from the previous anime series is that it doesn't merely revolve around the high-intensity game. Instead, it delves deeper into the personal growth and development of each character. Now, here comes the kicker. The movie's central character is none other than the short-stature Miyagi. Wait, what? Miyagi? I remember him not having any standout moments in that particular game. So why is the film suddenly shining a spotlight on him? The narrative takes us back to the Miyagi's childhood story, narrating his relentless journey to refine his basketball skills after his brother's demise, all in the pursuit of realizing both his and his brother's dreams. One could argue that this game becomes the catalyst for Miyagi's dream fulfillment and personal transformation. But putting aside Miyagi's story, let's talk about the game itself, because that's what us fans are for. The game is incredible. You will witness cutting-edge technology creating jaw-dropping basketball action sequences that flawlessly encapsulate the sport's raw intensity and acceleration. The collisions, the players' court maneuvers, the fluidity of all the actions, all of it is magnificently portrayed. Stunning animation and visuals that bring the characters and their world to life in a whole new way. As someone who's deeply involved in playing basketball, I genuinely has nothing to nitpick about the depiction of the game. Watching the movie feels like being on the court, participating in the game firsthand. The sound and the editing of this film is just mind-blowing. I'm really struggling to find another sports anime that has achieved editing of this caliber. The character movements are incredibly crisp, and you can even grasp the intention of the characters, especially in the last sequence of the game. Holy shit, there's no dialogue, the entire arena falls silent, accompanied by slow motion shots of the players on the court. Then suddenly, in a split second, time accelerates. Coupled with the impactful sound effects, it powerfully emphasized that particular moment. Even though I knew the game result 10 years ago, that segment left me profoundly stunned. I've watched some renowned basketball movies, but none have given me this kind of feeling. The entire cinema, everyone was holding their breath. However, apart from this sequence, I think the overall pace is a bit too fast for an anime film. I understand that Takehiko Inoue sacrificed the 2D style to authentically portray a real basketball game and focus more on the rapid moments on the court. But in some parts, I feel the pace is too rapid to the point where someone unfamiliar with the manga wouldn't understand what's happening. For instance, Sakuragi appearing out of nowhere in the strange position and causing a turnover for Sawakida is swiftly brushed over in the anime. I think the fast pace is good, and some of Sakuragi's silly mistakes become more comical because of it, because the audience doesn't anticipate it. The sweet pace in the initial stage of the game also showcases the exciting matchup between Rukawa and Sawakida. However, I believe some variations in the pacing is necessary, because apart from Miyagi, it's hard for us to understand the intentions of other players on the court, and this film is not solely centered around Miyagi. The excessive speed of the pacing made it feel quite abrupt. Even in watching the NBA, they give us replays. So I think it's reasonable to slow down at times. Now let's return to Miyagi's story. After watching this film, I feel like it's more than just his story. Perhaps Inoue, in consideration of fans, showed the character developments of almost all the Shohoku team members. However, since the early stage of the film didn't establish the foundation for these characters, people who haven't watched this anime series will be puzzled about who these people are and what they are doing. The film didn't convey how formidable the opposing team is. I still recall when I was reading the manga, I was worried about them. and this film didn't convey the sense of oppression that the opposing team should have imposed on Shohoku. So, without introducing these characters, first-time viewers of this series undoubtedly won't sense the strength of these opponents. For fans, the establishment of the story background was quite rudimentary. While the film began with a completely new character story distinct from the manga, it felt particularly abrupt when the game begins. But for Miyagi's story, did it resonate with you? Personally, I find his narrative among the Shohoku players somewhat flat. In the movie, I didn't sense the childhood bond between Miyagi and his brother. We love Miyagi, but we didn't start loving his brother simply because of an opening scene. What truly moved me about Miyagi was his fearless spirit as a small player on the basketball court. When he broke through Sannoh's full court press and the film theme song kicked in, I was tremendously inspired. In my view, if this film had centered around Sakuragi just like the previous series, the audience would have been more captivated by the movie. The characterization of other roles isn't as deep as in the manga. Essentially, this film point of view should have focused on Miyagi, yet the film depicted almost everyone. It's primarily due to Miyagi's less impactful portrayal that the character development of others didn't contribute much to storytelling. I even had the moment when I thought it nowhere made him the main character because he had fewer scenes in the anime series. As for the editing, I also mentioned how the pacing changes enhance the audience's perception of the basketball game. However, due to the constant insertion of Miyagi's memories during the game, the plot felt overly fragmented. Interrupting a sport match repeatedly can easily cause negative sentiment among viewers, because at this point, the editing disrupts the emotional beat, and instead, I found myself somewhat impatient with Miyagi's childhood story. But apart from this point, overall, I'm quite satisfied with this film. It's a must-watch for the fans of the series, and anyone who enjoys sports anime with a blend of action, emotion, friendship, and personal growth. Whether you are reliving the nostalgia of the original series or experiencing the magic of slam dunk for the first time, this film promises an unforgettable journey on the court. When I see my beloved characters and animated basketball matches I adore, it feels like everything I ever loved has come back to me. Sakuragi, Rukawa, Mitsui, Akagi, Miyagi. They who once accompanied me have returned to the big screen. After repeatedly venting on social media about when the Inter High will finally get an anime adaptation, it took a decade, but it's finally here. It's no longer the original 2D hand-drawn style, nor do we see those familiar cartoonish depictions, but when the characters step onto the stage, that's the slam dunk I know. Mitsui still excels at three-pointers. Akagi remains hungry for a championship, and Sakuragi still lingers at the most vibrant age of 16. Thank you, Slam Dunk. You made me fall in love with basketball, and you changed my life.